Hello Algebra 1. Today we are introducing standard form. So standard form is a third form, different than point, slope, and slope-intercept. So let's review the forms that we already know, and then we'll introduce our new standard form. Point-slope form looks like this. Y minus y1 equals our slope, and then parentheses, x minus x1. The key characteristic we know is that we have parentheses. Okay, next we have slope-intercept form. This is our y equals mx plus b. Key characteristic is that we are solving for y. And finally, our new form, standard form, it looks like this. ax plus by equals c. The key characteristics for standard form is that we have no fractions, and x and y are together. All right, so let's see how we would do this. Move the following equations into standard form. Basically, we want x and y to be on the same side together. We want our number to be on the other side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to subtract my 2x over so that it will be with my 4x. And I'm going to add my 3y over so that it will be with my 5y. That gives me a 4x minus 2x is 2x. 5y plus 3y is 8y equals, these guys are gone, and now you have a 5 on this side. This is what we want. Standard form is basically the type of equation that normally we would need to solve for y. Basically, we are working backwards. We're putting it back into standard form. Okay, so usually we see x's and y's on the left and our number on the right. So for number 2, we would again need to get our 4x with the other x. So we'll subtract it over. We are moving the 4x this time and not the negative x, the smaller one, because we want the x's and y's together and the y is already on that side. So this is 6y minus 5x equals negative 7. And then we do just want to switch the order of the x and the y so that the x comes first. It's a negative 5x plus 6y equals negative 7. All right, and again, that is standard form. All right, so now we're still moving to standard form, but we are going to move from slope-intercept form. So we can see these are already solved for y. I want to go back to standard form, which means that I want the x and the y together. So to do that, I'm just going to subtract my 4x over. The 4x and the y don't combine, so I just rewrite this. It's a negative 4x, it's a positive y, and on the other side is your negative 10. Okay, so we're just moving things around. Same thing with number 4. We want your x and y together for standard form, so we'll just add our 5x on both sides. And again, the x and the y don't combine, so we just rewrite it. Put your x first, 5x plus y equals 12. All right, now we're going to do this when we have a fraction, because if you recall from the top, we said no fractions are allowed in standard form. So what we have to do is clear the fraction. We are not multiplying by the reciprocal. That is what everybody wants to do. It actually doesn't always work. So what we want to do instead is multiply by the denominator. Multiplying by the denominator will clear our fraction. All right, so for example, in number 5, your denominator of your fraction is 5. We are multiplying everything by 5. 5 times y is 5y. 2/5 times 5 is just 2. That was the whole point of multiplying by the 5, was that it was going to get rid of that denominator. So this is just a 2x. And don't forget to do the 5 times the negative 12 as well, which is a negative 60. Now that the fraction is gone, the only other thing you have to do is get x and y together. So we will go ahead and we will move our x over to be with our y by subtracting it on both sides. Okay, and again, you want the x to be first, so we'll put negative 2x plus 5y equals negative 60. All right, let's try it again. First step, we want to get rid of that fraction. So we are going to multiply by our denominator, which is 3. And remember, everything is multiplying by 3. 3 times y is 3y. 3 times negative 1/3, well, those 3's are just going to cancel, and you'll have a negative 1x, but you're welcome to type it into your calculator if you want. And 3 times 18 is 54. Once that fraction is gone, we just want to get x and y together, so I will add my 1x on both sides. All right, so this is a 1x plus 3y equals 54. And there is your standard form. All right, so that was from slope-intercept form. Now we're going to do from point-slope form, which is a little more work. Okay, so if you want to move from point-slope form to standard form, you should go to slope-intercept form first, then go to standard. All right, so first things first, pretend you're just going to SIF. Distribute. And solve for y. So we'll add our 10 over. All right, so I've got y equals 2x plus 20. Easy peasy, we've done this a million times. Now that we're in slope-intercept form, our only thing we have to do is get the x back with the y. So I will just subtract my 2x over so that it will be with y, and we want our x to be first. So negative 2x plus y equals 20. All right, and that's all there is to it. Now, if there's a fraction, we are going to have to take care of that as well. But start by just distributing. So that's a negative 2/3 x. Negative 2/3 times 12, let's see what that is. That's a negative 8. Add your 4 over. Okay, just pretend you're solving for y right now. Negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. And now here's where we have to clear our fraction. Okay, solve for y first, but then we want to get rid of our fraction. And again, to do that, we are going to multiply by not the reciprocal, but the denominator. So by 3. Everything multiplies by 3. 3y. Okay, remember, the whole point of multiplying negative 2/3 times 3 was that the 3 just cancels out. Take a look. All that's left is the negative 2. Don't lose your x though. And then 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Okay, final step, we want x and y together, so we're going to add our 2x over. And that's going to be a 2x plus 3y equals negative 12. And there's your standard form. All right, so let's review. How would we write an equation in standard form if we were just starting from the beginning with a point and a slope, or perhaps 2 points? First step is to put the equation into point-slope form. Then we'll move that equation to slope-intercept form. If we have fractions, we're going to multiply it by the denominator, not the reciprocal. Okay, and then we're going to move our x value to the side with the y value. And finally, we want to make sure that our order goes x first, then y, and then that's equal to our number. All right, so let's give this a try. We're going to find all 3 of them following these steps right here. So we have a point, we have a slope, step 1, point-slope form. That's going to be a y minus 10, okay, just the opposite of my y coordinate, equals my slope, and then x plus 8. Okay, I'll rewrite that over here. Okay, so step 1 is complete. Step 2, move the equation into slope-intercept form. All right, that means we need to distribute. So 1/2 x, 1/2 times 8 is 4. Okay, we're not quite done yet. We still need to add our 10 over, right? We're solving for y right now. Okay, this is our slope-intercept form. I'll put that here. Step 2 complete. Now we are going to move into standard form. So, do we have a fraction? We do. Next step is to get rid of the fraction by multiplying by the denominator. So the denominator here is a 2. Make sure everything gets multiplied by 2. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 1/2 x is just 1x. 2 times 14 is 28. Okay, and final step, move your x value to the side with your y value. So our x value, we're going to subtract it over, and we will put it first. It's a negative 1x plus 2y equals 28. And that is our standard form. And there you go. All right, let's try one more of these. This one has 2 points. So, of course, it wasn't on our 5 steps, but if we have 2 points, our first step is going to have to be to find the slope. All right, so 8 minus negative 6. Again, that's y2 minus y1 over 5 minus 7. And that's a 14 over a negative 2, which is a negative 7. All right, there's my slope. Point slope form, I'm going to use this one right here, that point. So y minus 8 equals my slope, x minus 5. There's my point slope form. Next, I need to move it to slope-intercept form. So I'll go ahead and distribute that. I'll just write this down here. I've got y minus 8 equals, when I distribute, I'm going to be really careful with my signs because negative 7 times negative 5 is a positive 35. And then finally, I'm going to add 8 to both sides because I want to get y by itself. 35 plus 8 is 43. Okay, and there is my slope-intercept form. And then what's nice about this one is there isn't any fraction, so we don't have to worry about getting rid of a fraction because there isn't one. The only thing we still have to do is to get our x and y together, so we'll go ahead and add our 7x over. And that's just going to be 7x plus y equals 43. And there's your standard form. All right, hopefully this is very exciting. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.